Hello, so today's excitement begins in the basement. Look, there's yet another Hoover in my house. Here is the glossing. My wife has finally started to decorate. Yes, she painted round the nail, I don't know why. Harry has introduced a little table for his music solutions, and here I am pumping away on my arms. I won't give you too much of this. I spent about 25 minutes all in all, but you'll just get 20 odd seconds. That's how lucky you are. Admire the Hulk t-shirt. This just makes me feel more powerful despite the puny weights I'm lifting. Puny weights! And then it's off
Did
to
you
the
think you
quarry
lost me,
with
Bobster?
Look, I've let him off the lead because there's no danger that he's going to go running away. In fact, I turned around the corner and he lost me and trotted off, turned round and said, "Mr. Salles, where are you?" He's very respectful. Here I am getting my wildlife shots, down and dirty in the mud. See how he stumbles? He hasn't got long, ladies and gentlemen. He hasn't got long, but he's going to persevere. He's going to live his life while he can. Come on, Bob. This is where he snapped his first anterior cruciate ligament just about 2 years ago, chasing a squirrel. But no danger of that now. So the park keepers have helpfully put two red for danger, red for death crosses on the path to remind us what 2 meters look like. So sadly, this reminds me of our trip to Dallas a few years ago. There we are at the memorial to JFK, just outside the book depository building from which Lee Harvey Oswald allegedly shot JFK as he travelled through the city in a limousine. But what do we find on the roads where he was killed? Yes, the charming Americans have put an X, and X marks the spot. And what we're waiting for here is for the traffic lights to change, because when the cars stop, loads of very tasteless people go out and stand on the exact spot that he was shot at in order to strangely commemorate it as though they themselves were going to be the victims or were celebrating his death. It's really weird. Anyway, I was reminded of that when I went into the park and I thought, gosh, they're commemorating my death already. Isn't that a bit premature? I hope so. And here we are again. There's Harry, look, reading the inscription with the cross in the background. People still wondering whether to dash there. Inside the museum was super cool, and we actually had a fire alarm go off, and everybody, of course, obediently left except my wife. My wife's middle name is I Do What I Want, and she did. She left the rest of us outside, panicking that perhaps she'd been arrested by the security services or perhaps even was being fried as we speak. But no, the good news is she made it out alive. This was an amazing trip which actually involved quite a lot of famous deaths. Here we are at Graceland, where Elvis famously died on the toilet upstairs. Fortunately, you're not allowed to go and visit that. And sadly, here we are at the hotel where Martin Luther King was killed. A totally different king to Elvis, but anyway, we pay our respects everywhere. And here we are in San Antonio outside the vegan restaurant with my wife. I won't tell you which one that is. Only kidding. So the park keepers worried that we won't be allowed to use the park if people do not observe the social distancing. Here's an ironic metaphor. This is a bird enclosure. Yet there they are, trapped, and then there is an orange fence trapping them again so that we're not allowed to get close. Here's my work home, wrap construction. I live in such a gorgeous area that no one has introduced a sea there. Look at the size of my mountain in the garden. I can't believe how big that is. It's even bigger now, but I'm saving that. Now, I have done battle. The garden has thrown up a new challenge. For our archaeological dig, can you see the white there? There's something buried that looks a lot like a fridge or a freezer. Somebody's buried in the garden. So I'm going to dig out the pond and see what kitchen equipment is underneath the lawn. And now for the entertaining time-lapse, which makes me look like a cartoon character, which is very appropriate as I'm wearing one on my chest. Here I am trying to dig out the pond and now clean it out one bucketful at a time. You can see it's full of mud, which is slimy, disgusting, smelly. At some point, Bob came out to try and drink it. I haven't caught that on camera, which is a shame, but he's still alive, which is excellent. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Yes, my little Brexit version of the witch is there. And here is my Brexit frog. My Brexit frog trying to escape from the garden, trying to exit to the UK. Come on, little froggy, you can do it. Actually, he can't. He's not a very clever frog. But coming up, one final leap for freedom. And you'll be thrilled to know that he escaped into the neighbour's garden and lived happily ever after, although my neighbour tells me that they regularly get frogs and toads from our garden turning up in their drain quite dead. Well, that's the circle of life for you. Hallelujah. And here I am, getting rid of the pond, folding it up like an old leaf. Believe me, it was a lot heavier than that. Here I go, fiddling about, trying desperately to get up these cursed bamboo shoots. They've broken my fork, but before that, the great unveiling. Sadly, this isn't actually in slow motion. I did move this slowly because I was exhausted. It's the money shot, the polka dots. Yes, this video is sponsored by Marks and Spencer's. Please check out the link below, earn me some money, go to Marks and Spencer's and buy some underwear for your dad. Or, if you really want to laugh, buy these underwears for your mum. Underwears? Who calls them that? I don't know. Anyway, time to put them away. Stamp on the sink. Who buries a sink in the garden, for God's sake? Why is this appearing again? It's me. I've loosened it. I've got rid of the earth. There's a great big tub of it there.
Amazing.
Yes, it is, Mr. Tub. And now look at the ever-growing mountain of rocks that's growing in my garden. And these are all the toys that I found in the pond. Once upon a time, Bob used to play with these, but he was obviously too dumb to go in the pond and get them out, and therefore he's left them. A fossil! I have discovered a fossil! Oh, will the glory of this day never end? Here is the sinkhole that used to be my pond, and now all the debris I've taken out of it, including the flipping kitchen sink. And just as a final reminder of the glories of life, here is the giant turd trail. Everything I scooped out of the pond I've had to scatter across the garden, leaving me with this beautiful vista of decay. Ah, my tools. Stand guard, lovely tools. See you tomorrow.